So I think I've come up with kind of a... Hi. Thank you, Tucker. So I think I've come up with kind of a good theme for the month. So I thought I'd do something different this month with my reading, and I thought I would come up with a theme. Do you find the theme boring, Tucker? I haven't even told you what the theme is yet. How can you be bored? I thought I would be a little creative and do an alliteration with May, since this is May, and I love alliterations. So the reading theme this month, for me anyways, is Mystery, Magic, and Myth, May. Hey everyone, it's Anna and Tucker, and we hope you're having a great day today. Right, Tucker? Yes, it's beautiful outside. It's May. It's spring. It's sunny. What more could you ask for? So today, I am going to go over the books that I've chosen that fit with my very nice alliterative mystery, magic, and myth May. I'm going to go over the books that I've chosen to read and what... Okay, Tucker has decided that he is just going to nap in my lap. So I actually can't tell right now if you guys can see him or not, but if you see, like, you know, a bit of a fur and a nose pop up every once in a while, it's because Tucker's decided he's going to take a nap in my lap. But most of the books I've chosen for the month, there are probably too many of them. There's no way I can read this many books, but we'll see. So this may spill into Mystery, Magic, and Myth May, June, and maybe July. We'll see. But one of these books is going to be a complete mystery because I just got my adult fantasy Owl Crate box delivered today and I haven't opened it yet. And so I'm going to unbox that here on this video, and we'll all get to see together what it is I'll be reading from my Owl Crate. Let's start with the books that I do know about that I've chosen from my previous hauls that I have done recently. I mean, I've hauled like, gosh, an embarrassingly large number of books in the last couple of months, like 60, maybe 70 books. Yes, I'm embarrassed. I have a problem. And I keep adding to the problem. But I don't know, I see a pretty book, I buy it, I hear about a good book, I get it, and yeah, I'm working on it. But in my previous videos, I think I've mentioned a couple of times that my family and I are taking a big trip to Ireland this summer, and so I have gathered a couple of Irish books to kind of get me in the Irish spirit. And so one of those books has made it to my list. The book is Calla by Colin Walsh, and this was a recommendation from my friend over at Spill the Reads, another booktuber who's great at picking books, at least in my opinion. So I hope this one's a real winner, but this falls into the mystery category, and it takes place in Ireland in the summer of 2003. And it involves a disappearance, and then it's 15 years later, and a woman who left Ireland has now reluctantly returned for her father's wedding, and human remains get discovered in the woods. So I'm very excited to get into this one finally. It's been sitting on my shelves for a little while. The next book that I picked is also another recent one that I hauled. It is Wayward by Amelia Hart. This one falls into the magic category. It's a brave and original debut and a spellbinding story about the legacy of witchcraft. That's a quote on the back. But it seems like it's got 3 different timelines going on. There is a timeline in 2019. Under the cover of darkness, Kate flees London for Wayward Cottage, inherited from a great aunt she barely remembers. Then we've got 1619. Altha is awaiting trial for the murder of a local farmer who was stampeded to death by his herd. When Altha was a girl, her mother taught her magic, one rooted in a deep knowledge of the natural world. And then, in 1942, as World War II rages, Violet is trapped in her family's grand, crumbling estate. Straitjacketed by societal convention, she longs for the robust education her brother receives, and for her mother, long deceased, who was rumored to have gone mad before her death. The only traces Violet has of her are a locket bearing the initial W and the word wayward scratched into the baseboard of her bedroom. So this one sounds really kind of like a mystery and some magic in it as well. The next book that I've put on my list is What Once Was Mine, A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell. So if you're unfamiliar with these series of books, there's a series of books that started to be released, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, Twisted Tales, where authors take a traditional Disney story and kind of flip it on its head and sort of make it dark and kind of a different edge to it. So this probably falls in the YA category. I'm not really sure. But this one has to do with Rapunzel. And Tangled was one of my favorite animated Disney movies of late. And so this one really spoke to me. What if Rapunzel's mother drank a potion from the wrong flower? So I'm excited about this one. All right, and the next book on my TBR is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. I have had this one on my shelves for the last couple of months, and it being called The Spell Shop, I thought it was a perfect match for the magic part of my theme. And so this book got a lot of good reviews. There is a sequel, or I guess maybe not a sequel, but a second book of similar ilk coming out by Sarah Beth Durst later this summer, I believe. And so I wanted to read this one, see if I like it, and if I do, go out and get the next one when it comes out in a couple of months. The next book I have, I think, goes into the myth category, and it's a book that I got from an independent author at the LA Times Festival of Books that I just went to not too long ago, and I've actually got a video of my experience there. If anyone's interested, I will put the card up here and you can go check it out. But I put Of Mountains and Seas by Emily Rank Hawthorne on this month's list as well. And like I said, this is an independent author who is also independently published. And so if you're wondering what this book is about, I'll just read you the jacket here. But the end papers are really pretty. This is the deluxe edition of the book. It's very, very pretty. For some, the only way to possess magic is to steal it from others. Born without magic, Davis is an outcast in his own shapeshifter family. Yearning for his father's approval, he sets down a path that intertwines with Iris, a girl whose own ambitions are hindered by a mysterious illness. Their quest leads to Eurus, one of California's smallest towns, unremarkable until they discover a cave of magic transferring stones. Now they have a chance to change their fates, but they're not alone. When locals stumble upon the cave, they unknowingly set into motion a series of events that threatens to expose Davis's past. As dark truths surface, one question endures. How much are they willing to take in their quest for power? So I'm really, really excited about this one. I hope it's really good. Next on my very long list of long books. I don't know what I'm doing to myself. I don't know why I'm crazy. I think I can read all these books in 1 month. That's why I said this is probably going to spill into June and maybe July too. But I have been wanting to read Grady Hendrix's newest novel for quite a while. It's been on my bookshelves for a long time, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. I have actually started reading this. I think I'm only a couple chapters in, so I don't really have much to report on this just yet. I haven't gotten too far into it, but I mean let's see, 28 pages I've read so far have been really good. And then I also am going to be reading a couple of arcs. The first one is The Poppy Fields by Nikki Ehrlich. I actually already started reading it. I am not quite halfway through just yet. And this one probably doesn't exactly fit the mystery, magic, and myths theme. Like, sort of, there is a bit of a mystery. There might be a little bit of subtle, supernatural magic happening, maybe. It's all very based scientifically at the moment, but again, I'm only about 45% of the way through, so maybe there might be something. But I was really excited to be granted permission to read this arc, and so I decided to start reading it, even though it doesn't like completely fit the theme. You know, it's my theme, it's my world, it's my TBR. I can do what I want, right? And I also have another arc that I am going to be reading. I just got approved for. It is called The Guest List. I forget the author's name at the moment, but it'll pop up here when I put the cover up. And again, I think it's a mystery. I don't really remember too much about it because I requested it a few weeks ago and I only recently got permission to read it, but it very much squarely falls into the mystery portion of my theme, and so I think that will fit very nicely. I'm very excited to get to that one as well. So I've got a couple more books that are on my list that I know about anyways. One of them is a classic. It is The Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. And the reason I'm reading this one is because I happened to do a video that incorporated this book about dark themes behind classic children's tales recently. If you're interested, I'll put a card up there so you can go watch that. But I decided that I was going to do a special project with The Wizard of Oz, and so I am going to be reading this book and putting it together as a sleep story in case any of you guys out there have trouble sleeping and you just want a nice, soothing story to listen to as you fall asleep. So I will be reading The Wizard of Oz for that special project that I'm doing for sleep stories, and that should be coming out pretty soon. Let me know what you think about that idea. Like, does that excite you at all? Does that seem fun? Let me know. It's a bit of a test, I have to say. It's an experiment for sure. Okay, and now we get to the mini haul portion of this video. I have a couple of books that I ordered. One book I do know what it is and one that I don't, but I thought I would do the unboxing. This book was a pre-order for a release that just came out. Oh my goodness, that was harder than I thought it would be. And it is The Amalfi Curse by Sarah Penner. I covered this book in my most anticipated releases for spring and summer video a while back, and true to my word, it is one of my most anticipated releases. I had this on pre-order, like I said, and this was just released this week, so I'm super excited to get into this one. I mean, this squarely falls into magic and myth category, right? I mean, it couldn't get any more perfect, but this is a beautiful copy. The sprayed edges and kind of the gold leaf, and then the end papers are very pretty. let's see. If you're unfamiliar about what this book is about, powerful witchcraft, a hunt for sunken treasure, forbidden love on the high seas. Beware the Amalfi curse. It sounds like a wonderful mixture of things, and I'm very excited to get into this one. Okay, and now the very last book on my TBR, and it is my adult fantasy owl crate. This is my first adult fantasy book only owl crate box. I used to get the YA owl crate boxes with all the goodies and the books and everything for many years, but I recently stopped that because I kind of really wasn't reading a lot of the books, and so then I just felt like I was kind of wasting money. But then I put my name on the fantasy list. So this is a really pretty copy of Gifted and Talented. It has a very pretty cover. It has some nice sprayed edges. And if you can't see, it's got like little illustrations. There's a smiley face. There's like biochemical looking symbols. There's an American flag. There's flowers, ballet shoes, a light bulb. I think that's about it, and maybe some blood splatter coming from the ballet shoes. It's very pretty. And then on the inside, let's see, the binding is really pretty. It's like got this silver quality here. And then on the front it says, "Ghosts beget ghosts." And on the back it says, "The truth is, you can fall from grace at any time." And then we've got very pretty end papers. Let's see what the back looks like. That's kind of funny. A dude in his trunks and then two women in suits kind of yelling at each other. That's humorous. And then it's a reversible dust jacket. So I guess if I wanted, I could make all the folds go the opposite way and put that in the front instead. But I think I like the original cover. So then inside the books for owl crates usually has a letter from the author and the author's signature. And so I will try to read the letter to you. It's handwritten. Oopsies. It's handwritten, so it's a little hard to decipher, but I'll do my best. Dear reader, what exactly is potential anyway? We mythologize ourselves because we want the satisfaction of a story, the comfort and the construct of a book. We want to know that our trajectory is defined, that the arc we're traveling faces the direction of a happy ending. We live our lives like they're a path to the finish line, with the assumption that only when we cross it will we know what any of it was for. But if you live only for the fulfillment of an ending you can't see coming, then how can you tell what kind of story you're in? People often ask me how I decided to be a writer. For several years, I simply was one, or I was just depressed and unemployed. In a certain light,
I was a failure. Shift it slightly, and it was the portrait of an artist all along. In this book are three-ish people who ruined their lives with terrible choices. Or there are three-ish people in the process of finally getting something right. Depending on the context, life is short, but also long. More than that, it's undefined. Perhaps a book can be shelved by virtue of its ending, but the privilege of living is not to know. Potential is the siren song, the straight line between you and unknowable greatness. The real story is this: you're already here. And so I'm very excited to add this book to my TBR, and that does it for this video. So those are all the books that I'm planning to read in my mystery, magical, mythical May, June, and possibly July. I haven't decided which books I'm going to do individual review videos for and which ones I'll just include in my kind of bi-monthly wrap-up, maybe monthly wrap-up, not really sure. I'll kind of decide that as I read, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to all of these books. Have you read any of these books? Are any of these books on your TBR as well? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you so much for all the support you've been giving me lately. I really appreciate it. If you like this video and you want to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It always makes me happy every time I see a view, a like, a subscribe, a comment, all good. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again soon.